Welcome, you beautiful people. This is your girl, Atara Lady Tattoo. For those who don't know me, it's been a while. Welcome to the STAO Radio show. It took a minute for me to really get myself in the concept of what I'm going to present, how I'm going to present it, and without losing myself at the same token. And what I'm finding out is being off of Blog Talk Radio, doing my podcast, all of this time has allowed me to do some growth and development, which sometimes we really do need to take a little time out to see what we need to do within ourselves and how we're going to take a hold of our lives and run forward. Well, a lot has transpired. A lot of amazing things have flourished from me taking the time off. But I am back and I am ready, and I hope you all are too. What I'm excited about in this segment on today is that we're just going to catch up. Nothing wrong with that, because what I have come across from having my radio show through Blog Talk Radio was raising awareness only on the stories, the survivor stories of victims of domestic violence. And the reason why we were so strongly focused on that, giving you a little history overview of why we were in those segments, because if you've read the bio or not, or you just happen to be clicking on here, I will just share that I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I was in a position that almost cost me my life. I was blindfolded, shot and left for dead. Next year will make 17 years that I have survived a horrific situation, which was my oldest daughter's father. And needless to say, all of the trauma that I had to go through and my family had to go through has been nothing but survival for us. I will really say that a lot of healing had to take place. A lot of forgiveness had to take place, not only because of the reminder of what has happened, going through health issues, physical, psychological, financial, just the whole rebuilding of your life. It would take a total makeover and some years to really get a hold of yourself in the way that you really need and should be living healthy and whole. And the time that I had to take off from the radio has allowed me to grow and heal even the more. Not that I didn't want to keep going while I was going through to expose it. I've done things now to be transparent about my journey of survival, to help others, to be a voice. But sometimes being a voice for others can leave you to be lost, because you're giving so much of yourself that you're not being refilled. So to take the time off is no harm. You need to have balance in your lives. Do not saturate yourself with trying to be this hero to everyone else because you have overcome. You want to take life at a new beginning for you. You don't want to be overwhelmed with the expectations that people begin to place on you, and then you begin to place on yourself because you made moves to be everything for everybody else and still live lost. So coming back to STAO Radio is very humbling. I'm very grateful. I would like for you all to become new followers to my different podcasts. I have several different ones. If you are on this one for Spreaker, there are different links that I am associated with on social media. I have Instagram, which is Atara Estes. I have Twitter, which is Atara Estes, as well as my business site for STAO Radio. You can find me also on Facebook. as Atara Estes, the public figure page. I am limiting myself on taking so much on my personal page because I will want those who to really, really know who I am to have that access to me. I've learned so much in my transformation of growth. Excuse me. And I want to continue to grow in this area of my life because the life that I live now is different from when I first began on this journey of hosting my radio show. Why did I start hosting my radio show? It's not only to raise awareness, but to have a voice that will give me that platform to share it the way it actually happens. Sometimes you can be interviewed by people who have good intentions, but we are living in a world, in our society, who thrives off of negativity and who wants to just hold on to the hardship of it. Not that it didn't happen and you don't have emotions and you don't have feelings to those things, but sometimes when you want to bring good out of a bad situation, it's boring to people. And guess what? I'm just going to be that boring person. No, not really. But I think what I'm saying to you, different strokes for different folks. Everything about my radio show may not be for you. But whoever it is for, I'm going to do my part and be responsible for the message that I'm sending, the message that I'm standing on, and the message that I actually walk in and demonstrate each and every day of my life. I am actively in so many different wonderful projects right about now that I want to share it with you all to be able to participate, to help it grow on to the next level, because it's all about helping others when you have learned to help yourself. So I'm going to break down in my different segments on the radio. Either we're going to be doing it as a series, or we're just going to do it as topics come up. I have not really situated how that plan goes because I want to be back on the air to let you all know that you can live again. There are things that is our responsibility in this life that if you want a change, it is not going to change unless you do something to activate that change. So I'm here to be that motivator. I'm here to empower you and many others. And I'm here to kind of pull that Band-Aid off. Sometimes we go about and be so involved in everybody else's business that we forgot to handle our business. And that's why I took the time off. Well, I don't think I intentionally took the time off, but I think the things that happened in my life throughout that time, being a mother of two, single parent of two teenage daughters now that were younger at the time, and knowing that I was on this platform of a lot of people of knowing who I was because my story was high profile in the region of St. Louis, and taking that time to be in courts, going to doctors, for them to actually put you on medication for dealing with depression or anything that just seemed like it wasn't operating right. Everything that I tried to do to be a human being, to share my story, tend to kind of put more of a strain on me and made me more, at that point in time, depressed because I really wasn't fully healed. So that's when I want to express right about now that anything that you plan to do, if it continues to bring a sting to you, you're not healed from it. You may want to take the time out to attend to yourself. Self-care. I'm a strong advocate today about a self-care journey. Because when you don't, you leave yourself open to your system being low and you're getting a lot of sicknesses and a lot of diseases affects your body. I'm telling you now, your mind has to be protected. Your body must be protected. Your spirit must be protected. You must protect everything about your temple. It is your responsibility, not someone else's. So what we're going to be doing on this radio show, STAO, is the acronym for Sound the Alarm Outreach. we're going to be sounding the alarm on a lot of different issues that are happening in our world today, and that how it affects us in our homes. Because one thing is for sure, that everything that you have yourself surrounded by affects you. You can go around and say that what somebody else is doing down the street doesn't affect you, but trust me, if somebody robs your neighbor for something that did not have anything to do with you, and you hear about it, it's going to make you feel a certain type of way about your neighbors being hit by a robber. Because then you begin to question in your mind, and fear begins to play a part. Is my home next? Do I have something to be concerned about? And those are actually good things to be aware of, because it's not to create a fear, but to create an awareness. And that's what this shows will be all about, is awareness. We plan to have fun on this show. It's not just all serious topics, because I have some things that I can tell you right about now. It's about having balance as well. So you're going to go on a journey with me, and we're going to take the Band-Aid off, where we're going to be crying together, but we're going to also rejoice together. I believe in all you're getting, get understanding. I believe that everything that God has it can be in divine order, but I have a charge to keep, that everything that I have right about now is because God has placed it before me. I'm a firm believer by faith that God is everything and all things for me, to me, and about me. God is my all in all. And there is nothing that I would do to put a denial on that. I can never and will not ever deny God for anybody or anything. So it is not about if you believe the same way I believe, because I'm going to respect and not be judgmental about someone else's faith. But what I do want you to be able to come in agreement with is that we have the same issues that we can get through together, and we're going to be on a journey to heal. Let's remove the mask and be transparent to what is really happening. We might not agree on every subject that I may bring about, or what organizations that are out here doing the things that they're doing. But one thing I would say that I will not do, my intentions is not to talk about all the negative that is going on, but how can we do something to bring solutions? Because if I'm going to bring up anything that is going on and going wrong, I'm going to look at me and say, what part can I do to change that I have control over? We have to begin to not put everything as others to be at fault, but to find the responsibilities and accountability that we can take upon and empower ourselves to do something differently. We have our youth who have taken a turn in our world that could be on the bad of being exposed, that the youth are out of control, or we can expose the good, that the youth are newfound leaders in new elected officials that are going to be coming in office, our new doctors, our new lawyers, our new social workers, our new construction workers, our new everything, our new nurses, So anything that we need to do that can be exposed on the negative is have the power to pull the positive. And that is what I'm going to do as careful as I can, that I do not have to apologize for how I am expressing a new beginning to someone's life. I would love to be able to give the audience, the listeners, the viewers, because I will be going live on most of my stations very soon, that it won't be just audio, to where you can see me. Well, now, will I be able to see you? Maybe. Depends on how my setup is blessing me to be able to do so. But in the meantime, in between time, I want you to be able to be enlightened and hear what I am saying. We have an opportunity in this world to contribute to the change that we want. And it starts at home before we sit up here and try to share it abroad. So let us not be out here telling everybody else what to do before we're doing it ourselves. So I am a firm first partaker. I'm firm at that. I'm confirming to you right now that everything that I'm sharing, everything that has happened, I had to examine myself. And by doing so, it allowed my girls, my daughters, to actually begin to be sensitive and to be examining of themselves, because they don't want to be found at fault, and they don't want to be found in not in an alignment that is healthy for them, which is understandable to know that I give my girls energy. That if I have a bad day and I'm in a bad mood, it kind of transfers onto them. That they become bad mood and stink and all these different things. So what I don't want to do is to feed the stank. I want to be that one to feed you all life, even in spite of all the adversities and things that are going on in our world today. Now, I am your radio host, Atara Estes, Lady Tattoo for those who know me on that level. However, I have become a survivor, a spokesperson for domestic violence, sexual violence. And I'm taking on a new umbrella of things, being a social justice advocate and a human rights mediator. That in itself is no light task, but to me, it's one that I easily do on an everyday basis. So anything that has to do with making sure someone's rights are not violated, I'm there. Because I believe in fairness and I do believe in justice, but we also know that we live in a world that is not fair and is not just. So public health is an all-around awareness that we all can see that deals with the mind, body, and spirit of things, of our world. So this is a global awareness that I will be sending a message for you all to let you know we all are going to be impacted by Sound the Alarm outreach. I'm going to let you know that ahead of time. I will be having some guests that I will be interviewing on my show that is in the same arena and platform that I'm on, whether it be in public health, rather it be in the entertainment industry of our actors, our singers, rappers. I believe that everyone plays a part. I believe that the employers that are out here in our community that deals with our workforce has something to say. I believe that everyone can be beneficial if they want to be a part of that change. So I'm coming with all forces to let you know that Sound the Alarm Outreach is here. Revived, revamped, new edition. Is not limited. It going over and beyond my own expectations. I thought that I was ending the STAO radio, but only thing I found it to be is to be resting. And now that it's about to revamp onto that next level, I am just so excited to bring forth a message to you each and every time I am inspired to record. So I am not going to just give you nonsense. I'm not going to be all CNN. I will have some comic relief in here. So we will have a great balance to our journey. I have a fitness journey that I'm on right about now, dealing with my food changes and I need some new discipline. So maybe I can get some advice from you all in some different type of exercises, different type of food choices. I do share them on my Instagram of some of the journeys when I start to run or I exercise or the different types of foods that I'm trying. So I can hear from you as you respond to what I'm posting, to what you're listening to, but overall, I want you to be encouraged and empowered by the live again message that anything that is possible for you to have is for you to do. I believe that right about now, I was waiting for a platform to become available to me. And guess what? I found that I was kind of hindering I was in my own way. I'll say it like that. I was in my own way. Sometimes you just got to tell the truth and be the truth of what that looks like and what it is. So now that I'm not in my own way, I'm back. I'm so excited. I'm hoping that each and every time that I come on the air that I can have a new follower. And if you all would do me the privilege and the honor to like and share with your friends, with your associates, those who you will find to have an uplifting to the message, because they're going to be on some Sundays that I give nothing but a strong spiritual concept. And heck, it might not even just be Sundays. It all depends on how I'm being led to actually give the message and go from my heart. There will be some structured content. Don't think that I'm just going to be, trying to pull stuff from out the air. I haven't been on the air for a minute, but I also know that you have to have things in order, because I want to go from one part of the segment to the next and then have an effective flow. I don't want nothing just to be fly by night, but then sometimes improv is good. So we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next, but it will be substance. So with that being said, I thank you for those who have been on my following to continue to follow and support me, but to also bring along others now so they would know how to live again as well. We're not going to be selfish and keep it all to ourselves. I know that I haven't been on the air for so long, but it is a movement now that I'm not just within my own region any longer. I'm actually on a national level and hitting some international worldwide messaging now that I've been speaking more and being a part of strong committee boards. Excuse me. I'm trying to think of the thought of what am I trying to say without saying too much too soon, because everything has its time and place for when I need to share of what I'm doing and in the areas that it will impact you all as well. So I am going to say thank you once again for being a supporter of Sound the Alarm Outreach. If you have not become a supporter of Sound the Alarm Outreach, you are able to do so today. You are able to go to Facebook and find Sound the Alarm Outreach, and you can join that on Facebook, and you can also join me on Twitter, STAO Radio. Also, you can follow us on, you can follow Atara Estes actually on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, Blog Talk Radio. You can find me on those stations as well. But I don't want you just to be joining those pages if you're not going to share the message. I want you to be involved, because this has more to do with you or someone that you know who has gone through and will go through and need someone to encourage them. So let's go beyond just us keeping the information to ourselves, because this information is to be shared. We are here to be allies and to get the word out about what is going on and who's actually doing the work, to where you all can just participate by sharing it and inviting others to join in. So you don't have to be on all of those pages, but whatever is important to you, I would like to invite you to become a follower, a friend to those networks, to where we can grow and be at the next level together. I'm also on WordPress. WordPress is just my, it's like my blog of network for public health. I do have my own personal website, but the website is for those who want to book me as far as speaking engagements to come out or have a workshop. So if you are interested in booking a speaker at your event, you are welcome to email Atara, ATARACE bookings @gmail.com. You can find everything in the bio. It should give you information to link to actually click on any of those icons to get to any of my pages that I have that I'm a part of. I would never leave you out there to where you cannot find a way of connecting with me, to support me in any way on this journey. As far as my main website, you can go to Atara bookings.wixsite.com/website. And like I said, that should also be on my bio as well. And I will be updating and making sure that everything that I'm sharing on my my segments of recordings, that you have the links to what I'm sharing that you need to have access to follow me or to book me or to be a part of the session. We do have one-on-ones if you want to do a virtual empowerment session. We do groups. I am within the St. Louis region, so St. Louis have a quicker access to me. If I have to leave outside of St. Louis, we are able to make accommodations virtually, like I said, through different accommodations. But if you want to book me to speak to a larger group of people to help in any way, you are able to get in contact with me and we can discuss business further in those aspects. But either way, we have some work to do. And I'm very excited. I'm very blessed right about now to be able to come back from being in a healing place. It's terrible to be like I said before, coming out, being a survivor of domestic violence on that level. And if you really want to hear those repeated stories, they are in my Blog Talk Radio. I've shared my story for many, many years, and each time that I share it, it's never enough time to share it all in 45 minutes to an hour. So if I do, I'm sharing it in a different light. But if you want to really hear what I was really going through and how it affected me, please, I ask that you go on Blog Talk Radio and type in Atara Estes. You can find me on there for STAO Radio Show, and you can pull up all of my old segments that really talked about my survival and why I got into becoming a survivor story spokesperson in this aspect. And being an advocate is one that I don't take lightly when it comes to those who are survivors to this, because it is not easy to leave certain situations when you are bound and afraid. So we will go and dive in deep when we need to. But right about now, the day has come that I am back. I'm revamped. I'm better than I was. And I'm doing everything to make sure that I give glory not only to God, but bringing myself happiness in the things that I was enjoying doing at one point in time, but I stopped doing because I let a lot of dictation from the outside world get in. And let's be honest. I let others kind of validate what I should or shouldn't be doing and how I could and couldn't be doing. And I also had authored a book in 2014, and it was called Damaged Goods. So guess what? We are revamping Damaged Goods to where that book would be the first edition, but the new extensive version of Damaged Goods will have a new title in it because it will deal with the different components, and we will go into depth of the series of how I made it through my journey. You know, coming from being born and raised in Chicago, grew up in New York, but also being affected by homelessness due to family being on drugs and growing up in a home of domestic violence and substance abuse and things of that nature kind of can take a toll on a child growing up, to some of those things attaching itself to your life, and you ended up being a product of your environment, and you keep it going and the cycle is never broken. So guess what? You grow up and then you end up doing the same thing, and then you're raising children, and the cycle continues. And how do we stop this? We push reboot. Not pause. You want to reboot. You want to reprogram a lot of things to take away. You want to learn from it, but you want to develop new behaviors and new patterns and a new acceptance of life. Like, you do not have to live that way if you don't want to. And it starts with the thinking of how you do things before you see and doing something different. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. I would tell you that right now. If your mind goes left, your body is going to go left. It ain't going to go right. And I know that's broken English, but if your mind goes left, your body isn't going to go right. It's going to go left as well. So let's make sure that our mental state is healthy and strong, and even that has a series of components to it. But we're going to be able to talk about a lot of different things to mental illness and mental health and our community that's going through violence and the opioids and whatever that we can definitely dive into, that I am a part of the awareness is what we're going to do. We're going to raise awareness, and we're going to be responsible to creating solutions, not just for outside, but for our insides. It starts with us. Plain and simple. So, without further ado, I'm going to be coming off right about now because I want to come back in another day to report out on where we're going and what we're doing. And I just want to let you know I am so proud of you all for just clicking to listen. And for those who this is your first time, I welcome you. Join us. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of this family. Be a part of the growth and development that we intend on having, that starts with us, and we can share it abroad and understand. You have to be good to yourself and to one another. Be blessed.